Alex with your weekly home update for the Portland metro area with data through the week ending May 26th. Let's dive into the latest stats and trends for the Portland metro real estate market. This week, we'll look at the preliminary May sales prices, days on the market, mortgage rates, and the current supply and demand conditions. First, the average sales price fell from last week's high, but it remained 2.1% higher than last year at this time. This is consistent with what we've been seeing in our year-over-year data as we move through May. I'm predicting about a 4% increase over 2023 once we finish this year out. I did a preliminary comparison of May 2023 to 2024 for a metro-wide sample, and we landed 3.9% above last year's average sales price. That's not a firm figure yet because agents may take a day or two to report their sales to our Regional Multiple Listing Service, or RMLS. And just to clarify, that RMLS is the Portland metro area's realtor marketplace and the source of almost all real estate information found on search sites such as Realtor.com, Zillow.com, and Remax.com. They all get their information from one source, which is the RMLS, and we agents are the only ones who can see all of it. Buyer demand increased this week, which was somewhat surprising given that it was a holiday week. The number of purchase agreements signed by buyers and sellers increased by about 10% over the previous week and by about 11% over the same period last year. For the past 4 weeks, this year's market has outperformed last year's market on this metric. The number of lockbox opens is our indicator of high intent buyers out looking for homes with their agents. That number was lower than the previous week, but that is typical for a holiday week. However, for the first time in a few months, this year's lockbox opens outpaced those seen last year around this time. Not too much, the difference is less than 0.5%, but this is the first time we've seen it in months. We have seen a consistent increase in the supply of homes for sale since the start of the spring buying season, but that has stalled this week due to a low number of homes entering the market as new listings, combined with strong buyer demand scooping up some of the old ones. The next few weeks will determine whether this is a new trend. I believe it's a blip. I would expect the total inventory of homes for purchase to increase on a regular basis until the end of the summer. Buyers will have more to choose from. A regular viewer asked me to discuss the number of days a property spends on the market before receiving an acceptable offer. On average, homes spend about 36 days on the market. Last year at this time, the average days on market was 29, but here's an interesting graph showing the median days on market. This demonstrates that 50% of the homes that sold spent 11 days or less on the market before receiving a good offer, while the other 50% spent 11 days or longer. So more than half of the home sellers had a much better experience than the current 36-day average. As you can see, this number has been rising in recent weeks. That is something to keep an eye on because last year, the average and median days on market did not begin to rise consistently until July. Mortgage rates were relatively stable this week. The best case scenario I could find for the 30-year fixed was approximately 6.625%. Most lenders were around 7% or higher. And we did get some inflation numbers last week, and they came in right about where markets were expecting. That caused the yield on the 10-year Treasury to start inching down, and mortgage rates may follow suit at the start of next week. Well, that's our wrap for this week. Thanks as always for joining me. Subscribe to our newsletter or YouTube channel, whichever you prefer, or give me a call at 503-683-1885 or send an email to Lauren at pdxhomesforsale.com to make sure you don't miss any updates, and feel free to share this video with anyone who may be concerned about the real estate market, whether they're buying, selling, or investing. Have a great week, and I'll see you right here next week. Enjoy the great weather.